All right, today we're diving into a really powerful concept for any creator out there, weaponized philosophy. We're going to break down how you can take these huge, abstract ideas from history and forge them into the actual fundamental rules and powers of a fictional universe. So just start with this question. Think about it. Forget gravity, forget thermodynamics for a second. What if the basic laws of your story's universe were built on a philosophical debate? What if an idea, a pure concept, could literally create or destroy matter? That's the core premise we're digging into, and trust me, it's a total game changer for world building. So here's our plan. First, we'll define what we even mean by using philosophy as world physics. Then, we'll jump straight into a case study to see it in action. After that, we'll look at the arsenal of the mind, the powers and summons this creates. And finally, we'll wrap up with the big takeaways for you as a creator. Okay, first up. Philosophy as world physics. This is all about making abstract ideas into the concrete, unbreakable rules of your world. So what exactly is weaponized philosophy? Well, think of it as a strategic framework. This isn't just, having characters quote old philosophers to sound smart. No. This is about building an entire philosophical system into the world's foundation. It becomes the operating system that runs the entire narrative. And this slide really hits the nail on the head. On the left, you've got the standard approach, right? Philosophy is just window dressing. It's for themes, for symbols. It's a layer you put on top. But on the right, with weaponized philosophy, the philosophy is the source code. It's the physics. It's not just a theme. It is the fundamental law that says what can and cannot happen in this world. Okay, theory is great, but let's see how this thing actually works. For our case study, we're going to dissect a character who is the ultimate embodiment of this idea, Dare Willilick. You could also call him the dialectic, a living, breathing philosophy. So Dare Willilick comes from a world called Athalgard. And get this, in Athalgard, reality isn't made of atoms, it's made of ideas. The entire physical world is just a reflection of collective thought. So if enough people stop believing in, say, the bank a skyscraper represents, that building will literally dissolve into nothing. It's a world where existence is constantly devouring itself, and suffering is just the default state of being. So who is this guy? Well, like any good Cold War asset, he's got layers. The public myth, the story everyone knows, is that he was some aristocrat who wanted to become a god. But the declassified truth? It's much darker. He was a philosophy professor, Dr. Johannes Diogen, who got roped into a secret project that tried to turn him into a metaphysical super soldier. It went horribly wrong and shattered his mind. Now, to really understand the psychology of everyone in this world, you have to get Schopenhauer. This quote is everything. It basically says your intellect, your head, is just a fancy tool that your primal, irrational desires, your heart, uses to get what it wants. Your brain is just a lawyer for your gut feelings. This means you get these incredibly complex characters who build these elaborate justifications for their most basic animal instincts. All right, now for the part that is just so cool. An arsenal of the mind. Let's see how these super dense philosophical concepts become actual, tangible superpowers. Check out his main weapon, the schizostaff. It is literally the Hegelian dialectic made physical. One end of the staff is the thesis. It fires a beam that creates matter, creates force. The other end, that's the antithesis. It fires a beam that annihilates matter and force. And what happens when he smashes them together? That's the synthesis. It's a physical strike that completely rewrites the logical rules of the battlefield. It's an argument as a weapon. How cool is that? And the arsenal goes way deeper. He's got the Fichtean grip. He touches something, claims it as part of his own identity, and boom, telekinesis. Then there's the Kantian edge. This is a blade that doesn't cut you, it cuts the conceptual link between an object and gravity. He can use these runes inspired by Heidegger to literally rewrite reality on a local level. And get this, he can even use his own blood to transmute matter by forcing his own will to live onto it. So, on top of all his personal powers, Dare Willilick can also summon entities. But these aren't just your typical monsters. Nope, these are living arguments. They are physical manifestations of specific ideas. First up, the dragon deer. This thing is the literal embodiment of negation, and its defense is just brilliant. It's completely immune to magic, not because it has some fancy magic shield, but because it so fundamentally and completely denies that magic even exists that any spell thrown at it just fizzles out. It ceases to be real. Next is the pale cynic, and this one is pure psychological horror. It doesn't attack you physically. Instead, it radiates this aura of pessimism. It's a psychic field that forces you to confront the absolute pointlessness of what you're doing. It doesn't make you scared, it makes you feel so hopeless, so crushed by futility that you just give up. And for his intel gathering, he can call on the alley Mephistopheles. Think of it as a sentient shadow, a kind of street-level devil. It doesn't want your soul. It's not that dramatic. It just trades in information. It's the perfect spy, a walking Faustian bargain for intel. Okay, so we've seen the theory and we've seen it in practice. Let's pull back and bring this all together. What is the big takeaway here? Why should you, as a creator, a writer, a world builder, why should you care about this framework? Well, here's the bottom line. Using a framework like this gives you huge advantages. It gives you a rock-solid, consistent set of physics for your world. It automatically bakes in deep, existential conflict from the very beginning. And, maybe most importantly, it takes these abstract, heady ideas and transforms them into tangible, exciting action that your audience can see and feel.
And that really brings us to the final thought. This isn't just about Schopenhauer or German idealism. You could build a world on Stoicism, on existentialism, on anything. So, the question I want to leave you with is this. What philosophical idea would you weaponize? And what would that world and its heroes look like?